Just the usual. There we go. The game is on now. Beautiful. We are catching up as well to live gameplay. We're not missing out on too much of anything. Of course, the game had just begun, so... yeah, there we go. We caught up already. We have some scouts coming out from Valas. We're going to be switching colors once again. Daniel's going to be in blue. We're going to keep Valas in red. And for game number 1... Daniel's playing with Britons, and Valas is playing with Chinese. So this is another classic matchup that we have seen time and time again in the past, especially on Arabia over here. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm going to be liking Chinese a little bit better, mostly because of how versatile they are, especially in the later stages of the game when they get access to C-Tram, which can be very good against Britons for soaking damage. We're going to have... on top of that, not only very good archery for Chinese also, but then there's also going to be pretty good cavalry. And basically, whatever you want to go for, you're going to be able to go for with Chinese. For the most part, anyway, obviously. Bearing things like bombard cannons, which are not really available to them, they're going to be pretty versatile for the most part. So, I'm just going to switch this really quickly. This is... we're just going to remove the clan tag. There we go, from Daniel. And we're good to go. There you are, Valas is coming in already. There we go. Beautiful. It should be going pretty well for Valas. Predictions? Oh, the predictions. I'm really sure predictions, if we should enable predictions for this one at this stage already. I guess we can enable predictions for 2 minutes. Given that we are kind of into the game already. Valas versus Daniel. Yeah, predictions are on for 2 minutes, guys. So whatever happens over here, I don't think that's going to be necessarily game ending. Most likely Valas is going to end up getting cleaned up. But the predictions are on. Once again, 2 minutes. All players going out to the castle age at about the same time as well. Daniel's clicked up already, while Valas has resources but hasn't clicked up yet. Now he is. Yeah. Some villagers coming over now for Daniel to fight. And it seems like there isn't really too much for Valas to do over here anymore. So it's probably just going to end up getting pushed back home or getting cleaned up for the most part. Sorry about that. Was just preparing my tea. Alright.
Ready.
Yeah, pretty good defense for Daniel. That's now getting a little bit of idle villager time over here. Mind you, these, if we take a look at the efficiency, in the last minutes especially, they have not really been working much at all. And overall, they have a working rate of about 73%, which isn't really too high. But yeah, at the very least, he was able to secure himself a little bit. Meanwhile, up in the north, Valas is getting the walls up towards the edge. And he is going for the walls significantly later compared to Daniel as well. Which is very, very important too, because going for the walls later usually results in a stronger economies. Your villagers are going to be working for longer before they have to start going for the walls. So while this is going to provide Valas with some great safety, it's coming in much later. So his economy up until this point should be a little bit stronger. And if we take a look at gather economy time, Valas' gather economy time is a little bit higher. Not by too much, mind you. Meanwhile, Daniel gets to the castle edge and we're going to see crossbowmen coming up. As you're probably expecting, given both players going pretty heavily into archer units. Valas is going for about the same. He's got the Elite Skirmisher upgrade coming up on top of the Crossman upgrade. And then he's got Scale Bar and Armor, Crossbowman, Balkan Arrow, Bolso. He's got Town Watch. Valas is going for everything, man. And Daniel, well, Daniel's got just full Archer production, which means he's gonna be in a much better position when it comes to Archer count, of course, but the upgrades are not going to be quite as good, especially with the Skirmishers. Now, Valas does still have some of the Skirmishers, actually all the Skirmishers mixed into his army over here, but he's still taking pretty questionable engagements. At the very least, he's been taking more losses than kills over here. Yeah, now he's got the Skirmishers from the Archers, otherwise Daniel just keeps on sniping the Archers. But well played! Pretty good defense over here. Daniel's got a Siege Workshop as well, so we're gonna see a manual coming out. And on top of that, he's got Ballistics coming out, which Valas doesn't really have, so Daniel's looking pretty good over here. There we go.
Ready. Yay. Mandatum.
Fantastic. Then let's move the left hand side.
Ready. Yay. Ready.
Valas. Routine for Valas over there. Oh, nice. Garrison over here. Oh, but the mountain's staying up for a little bit longer than it should have. Especially with these crosses having ballistics. Actually, all 3 knights over there, 2 knights are going down, and the 3rd knight's taking a lot of HP losses. In the end, though, Valas might end up cleaning these up, or at the very least, getting a good amount of crossman picks. Not having ballistics is going to hurt him quite a bit. However, because he cannot really target the crossman in motion. Meanwhile, Daniel, on the other hand, should be in a better position. When he turns around to take an engagement against Valas, he's going to most likely not end up landing the shots. So the skirmishers over here are probably going down quite a bit. Man, I'm freezing. What the hell? It's 20 degrees. How am I cold? Damn. Stupid Argentinian weather gets me used to hotter temperatures. Anyway. Fantastic push from Daniel, denying the Siege Workshop as well. And then he does have a second TC coming up on the right hand side. He's already managed to get a nice villager lead over here. He's gotten 4 villager picks. Plus, he's got the mounted forward. He's got the crossman forward over here. Ballistics should be able to keep on putting pressure and preventing Valas from collecting resources freely. And the great thing for Daniel in this position is that the villager lead he's managed to create was not dependent on extra TCs. Instead, Valas has struggled to keep his own TCs working. So you take a look at the idle TC time over here, and Valas has gotten a lot of extra idle TC time compared to Daniel. So now with the extra TCs Daniel's going for, he'll be able to start pulling ahead in villager count quite massively, and this is just on top of the villager lead that Daniel has already gotten up until this point. So it's looking pretty good for the Bull players so far. That's a great mango shot as well! He's got ballistics. Should be able to take on the knights, no problem. That is a good shot, and that's a great shot as well. Players just trying to trade. Yeah, and in the end, the skirmishers over here are gonna be very low HP, mind you. So the knights going down, the crosswomen over there will probably end up getting cleaned up, but honestly, with some good unit control, especially because how weak the skirmishers are, Daniel might be able to clean those units up, and in the end, he's probably going to end up getting cleaned up himself as well, but this is still pretty good. He's going to be the only player left with military if he does end up taking the skirmishers down over here.
Ready.
He's got a second wave of crossbows coming over. He's got 2, 3 mangonels knocking on Valas' doors.
Mandatum. Ready.
Wow, and Valas calls GG right there as he gets surrounded over here and effectively cannot keep on collecting resources. Wood especially was hurting quite a bit for him. You take a look, the front wood line was exposed, the left hand side wood line was exposed as well, right hand side. He only had this wood line left, right, and there was
Mandatum.
a group of crossbows coming up from the left hand side, a group of crossbows coming up from the right hand side, and then on top of that he needed to defend in front. So too much pressure from Valas to hold on against Daniel, and Daniel's going to end up taking game number 1 with an incredible performance. 65k the ratio, collecting about 2,000 extra resources and close to it actually, and then for society looking very good. Daniel does end up getting an 11 villager lead towards the end, and all the pressure he was putting means that he was just going to keep on getting higher and higher up. So well played. And welcome then everyone to game number 2. Daniel's gonna be playing in the blue color over here. Let me take a look to see the predictions where... Yeah, we had no predictions for the previous game, so we are not going to enable predictions for game number 2. We might enable predictions for game number 3. But anyway, yeah, this is looking pretty good. Already, players are starting to work towards the walls. At the very least, Daniel on the right-hand side is starting to go towards the walls to the edge of the map. If we take a look at Valas on the other hand, he's going with the walls already towards the edge of the map. This is something that it really depends on how the buildings spawn around your TC, because it might make it significantly easier for you to wall yourself up towards the edge of the map if you have a bunch of your buildings forward, for instance. And that was the case for Valas. If we take a look at his map generation, many of the buildings he's got are forward, right? So that's going to make it a little bit easier for him to keep up. Meanwhile, if we take a look at Daniel on the other hand, well, he's got a tower coming up over here. I had to pay for more of the buildings over here, but it seems like both players will be getting the walls towards the edge of the map already. And despite this map having both players became very, very close to each other, there hasn't really been a whole lot of early pressure from, well, honestly, just 2 games that I have seen in this map so far, and players just seem to be going for full defense. At the very least, that seems to be what Daniel is going for. However, Valas seems to be more interested in putting some pressure over here, and the walls are coming up, but Daniel is unable to get the walls up. Can he? Now he gets the walls up. Valas was in a kind of an awkward spot over there when he had the chance of stepping on top of the foundation to prevent it from coming out, but then he didn't really have the army to do any damage with, right? So yeah, in the end the wall comes up, and now Daniel's going for a market. And Valas on the other hand is going slowly but surely for the wall towards the edge of the map himself as well. He's getting a market up now, and he's actually sending some villagers up in the north so he can start collecting from the shorefish. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Daniel already sent a villager over to get a dock up. He's got 2 fishing ships, and then on the left-hand side, we're gonna see Valas go for a dock over here and start going for fishing ships himself, but a little bit later. So the village count's already a little bit higher for Daniel. There we go. See the upgrades over here already for Valas. Daniel was already aware of that. Valas has already seen Daniel's units as well. Daniel's gone for Panther Arch Armor. Well, it hasn't gone for it. He gets it for free with Koreans, but he's gone for Fletching, and those units are fully upgraded. So Valas gonna really take an engagement over here. Instead, he's gonna click out to the Castle Age, and Daniel shouldn't take much longer to go up himself. As a matter of fact, he does end up utilizing the market. and he gets enough resource to click up to the castle age, so both players will be up with a difference of only about 35 seconds actually in favor of Valas. Just like one extra villager he could potentially go for. Feels like Valas has the better civilization for the map. It could be. Axes are, well, pretty strong everywhere. But yeah, I'm not really sure what Koreans are going to do over here. Well, they could have tried to go forward and put pressure with towers, I guess. After all, they are very, very close to each other when they begin the game over here. They spawn very close to each other. Could potentially have tried to make a play for towers up in the north as well, try to secure some of these resources, but instead he's played extremely defensive over here. Getting the walls to the edge of the map and just going for extra economy on the right hand side. And mind you, Daniel did manage to get some extra villagers up until this point. But it's not a lead that I would say it's definitely going to end up winning the game for him. Yeah. Valas' idle time was pretty bad though. That is true. So, Castle Age is here for Valas. And we see Eagle Scouts coming out. He's got double barracks over here, so he will be going for Eagle Warriors very soon. For a siege workshop for Valas, it's gonna be Eagles and Siege. Oh yeah. And it's about that time right now. I can finally start having my tea. Let's go. Beautiful. Green tea for today. Man's out. If he gets +2, I think Koreans are not in a good spot. Skin Squires, Town Watch. And Daniel's got a defensive tower. He's going for another defensive tower. Yeah, the defensive towers are gonna be good against the man, not so much against the Eagles. So if Valas can just avoid the towers and break through a different place and then just start swarming Eagles in, that's gonna be pretty difficult for Daniel to hold on against. No +2 coming up just yet for Valas. Seems like he's just being cautious over here. Then on the other hand, he's got crossbows coming out. And this is going to suffice for him to play defensively, but obviously it's not really a unit that he'll be able to go out into the open and put pressure with, especially with Eagles out in the open. So yeah, Valas is definitely going to be the one kind of setting the pace of the game over here. There's a second TC already up for the Bull player. There are no extra TCs up for Valas whatsoever. He only has gone for one fishing ship on the left hand side, so Daniel is going to hold on to his much stronger economy right now. He does have 8 extra workers to work with. And whilst the market might go down for Daniel to pass his man over there, he's already managed to get the extra walls up behind here. So he'll be fine for the time being. Push. 4 freaking mangonels from Valas. You know, he might actually be able to even get the guard towers down, but he needs a couple villagers to keep the mangonels from going down right away. Fine mangonels. Very, very good unit control over here. Valas does end up getting one of the towers down. He's gotta be careful. 2 mangonels over here could be catastrophic for him from Daniel. And Daniel on the left hand side managed to get a tower up, push villagers away from the wood line, and he's got the crossmen over here as well to work with. Daniel should be fine. There is plenty of extra food, extra wood, sorry, for him to collect over here. Up in the north, he's already landed a... He's already placed a lumber camp, so it's gonna be okay. And Daniel, he's been playing for economy. What I'm not really sure, though, is what is the plan for him? Playing for economy against Aztecs seems kind of disingenuous, so... Economy into what? Like, what is he going to go for? He's lacking upgrades for infantry. He's lacking upgrades for cavalry. Archery is not going to work. And then war wagons. He is collecting stone with 7 villagers, so war wagons are certainly on the table here. But it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, especially with Valas having the possibility of going for monks as well. So, yeah. Red player's looking good. Yeah, and Daniel's just pushing Valas around the wood lines, but yeah, Valas is fine. We'll see if this is the game that Valas equalizes. Good mango shot! 1 for 1! Still 4 mangoes here for Valas. +2 is here, by the way, for Valas' Eagle Warriors as well, so that's so much stronger. Alright. Yeah, Daniel tried to go out into the open to put some pressure against Valas, but once again, crosses are not the unit you'll be able to get away with that. Because of the Magnus over there and Eagle Warriors, of course. Let's trade over here for Valas. In the end, he gets a Manual over here for free, and yeah, it seems like he's just going to be fine. So, what does Daniel do? He gets ahead right now. He's got 17, actually 27 extra villagers, right? But what does he do with that? What unit is gonna go for that will allow him to win against Aztecs? And the only thing that I can think of is potentially just war wagons, but even then it's going to be pretty rough. So he's got the first castle coming up on the left hand side. He's going to need a good amount of units as well, so ideally he would want to go for at least 2 castles. Alright, Imperial Age is coming up now for Daniel as well. So both players on their way up. And yeah, Daniel keeps on collecting quite a bit. 10 stone miners. He will go for a second castle very soon. However, Valas will drop the first castle himself forward. Ranging one of the towers over here. If he gets blocking arrow and bracer, he might actually be able to, yeah, arrange this additional tower, right? So that's gonna be good. As a matter of fact, with the castle as is right now, with blocking arrow alone, that's going to be enough for him to target these towers. So what do we see from Daniel? He's just going for stone walls and a counter castle over here. He's had the resources to go for it, so now he's choosing to go for it. The castle's up, and the hit start to the castle, to the Imperial Age at the very least is going to give Valas access to trebuchets a little bit earlier. However, Daniel, he does have still a significant villager lead, 31 extra villagers. We'll see exactly what it is that Daniel will make a play for. So he's got some war wagons coming out, and with 2 castles over here, his war wagon production potential doubles up compared to just a few minutes before. However, Valas already has the first trebuchet coming out, and boy, this can be rough. He's got 3 trebuchets queued up. Interestingly enough, Valas has not really gone for any extra stone miners, so he won't be able to go for a second castle anytime soon, and Daniel's most likely just going to end up dropping this one. Yeah, there we go. There we are. Castle should crumble. And most likely will. 2 additional trebuchets queued up over here for Valas. Meanwhile, Daniel has got only now the first trebuchet out, and he's got the second trebuchet coming out, while Valas is unpacking the third treb already. So yeah, this castle's going down for sure. Daniel's, that is. And Valas, if he gets the second trebuchet out over here, actually might be able to get Daniel, if he gets the second trebuchet out over here, he does. He should be able to get the castle down from Valas as well. He was not really being collecting any stone once again, so he wouldn't be able to even try and repair the castle. But yeah, he managed to get 4 trebuchets out, so if he can keep these alive, that will still leave Daniel in a pretty decent spot. Valas in a pretty decent spot, even if Daniel's been able to defend. Boy, I need a tea apparently. But there we go, the trebuchets are up and the castle's crumbling. Fantastic. There we go, the 2 final shots. You got it. In the end though, there are 3 trebuchets left for Daniel to work with, so he can try and engage into a treb war over here. Plus he's got a bombard cannon over there, which is just going to make the trebuchets so much harder to utilize, right? So Valas doesn't end up having to bail from here. There's some monk technologies coming out with redemption and block printing company for Valas, so that he can defend himself against the bombard cannons for sure. That's going to help quite a bit. However, now he's in a little bit of an awkward spot where he is behind the villager count by quite a lot. 33 extra villages for Daniel. And then for military units, it's about the same for both players. Beautiful. At the very least, Valas should be able to get rid of these towers, potentially the castle as well, from Daniel. Now archer range is coming out for Valas. Yeah, I don't know about that. He's wasting his advantage. I mean, his advantage was very, very short-lived. I'm not really sure what else he would have been able to do. He got the castle down. He's going after the towers over here. He's gonna go after the castle probably after cleaning up the towers over here. But yeah, he's significantly behind in economy right now. So Daniel, from this point onwards, should have a pretty easy time outproducing Valas. And once again, the only thing that I can think of that he might be able to go for is just war wagons, but he's not going for them anymore. I guess he only had 1 castle right left, and now he's going for another one, so maybe that's going to be the trigger he needs. Here we are. Nah, tower's getting denied right away. So let's see if Valas goes after the castle. I think he should know about the castle, right? Yeah, he knows about it. Oh yeah, man, that's the stuff. The tea. Really needed it. Nice. Just under a lot of pressure. Skirmisher is coming out from Valas. Well, that's gonna work against war wagons for sure, but it's pretty difficult. Pretty good zoning out from Valas as well with the monks against the bombard cannons. Let's see. Here come the conversions. He's going after the war wagons right now. He's gonna try to converge us two, and he's going to get both while he gets the castle down. There's only one castle left over here for Daniel to work with, and Valas instead still retains all three trebuchets. He still retains the monks over here, skirmishers to work with. And while Daniel has a much stronger economy compared to Valas' economy, he still struggles big time to take advantage of it. He's not collecting any stones, so wouldn't be able to go for any extra castles himself. Let's take a look at how much gold there is available for the players at the starting area. So there is no gold over here for Valas anymore. And then on the right hand side, Daniel does have some gold over here, but he's been collecting from the center for the most part. Valas, yeah, he's got 0 gold minus. He's gonna try and worm his way into the center so he can get access to extra resources again. Beautiful. Daniel's defense has not really consisted of the right units and cannoneer and bombard cannons. And that's going to work pretty well against the skirmishers with the bombard cannons alone, of course, but he's got to be careful not to get too forward with a hand cannoneer. Oh, there is this upgrade coming in from Daniel. This one, I think it's the one that gives him extra range on the towers. Yeah. It's got him +5 now. Not an upgrade that I see very often, mind you. But one that's pretty useful, nevertheless. Valas. Beautiful. Yeah, and Valas gonna keep on going after more and more towers. He cannot really go for this too much though. Now he's getting very close to the defensive siege from Daniel, so he might end up taking a few losses over here. He's gotta get out of here. Yeah, there you are. A tower is coming up from Daniel on the left hand side. He cannot really do too much over there, and Valas is going to end up cleaning this up. As long as he's paying attention and doesn't just lose the villagers. $170 to 102 population though for Daniel and Valas. And Daniel's going to keep on committing to hand cannoneer. This is really odd. Valas has been going very heavily into skirmishers for the most part, but still he's bringing the Eagle Warriors actually forward to try and get the bombard cannons down over here. Bombard cannons will be a big issue for him trying to make use of his own skirmishers. So he's trying to go after these ones. He's going to end up getting about 2 bombard cannons. 3 bombard cannons. That is not too bad. But he ends up getting cleaned up in the end as well. So Valas calls GG. And Daniel's going to end up taking game number 2. Against the Aztec player over here. That's going to be a 2-0 score. Favoring Daniel. Let's go and take a look at the achievements before jumping into game number 3. I think a lot of people have probably left by this stage. After the first 2 sets though. At the very least, feels that way. 3 to 2 KD ratio for Daniel. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Daniel as well, collecting well over 7,000, almost 8,000 extra resources, and a stronger work account for him as well. So well done. Now let's go back and wait for the next one. Where can I record the games from qualifiers yesterday if they were not cast by you or anyone else? If you just want the record the games, like the files, you can go to the dashboard. You can do exclamation mark dashboard, and that's going to give you a link to the website, to the spectator dashboard. And in there, you can go to the tournament section, Red Bull Wololo qualifiers, and you should be able to download, record the games from any qualifier that you want. Alternatively, you can go to AOE2.net, search for the profile of the player you want to take a look at the regs of, and then just download them from their profile. Anyway, for game number 3, we're gonna enable predictions once again in a moment though. You're going to enable predictions for about 5 minutes. The question over here then is who wins game number 3? Option 1, Valas. Option 2, Daniel. And the predictions are open for 5 minutes, so go nuts. Bunch of scouts coming out from Bull players. To be expected given the civilizations. And around the center over here, Valas is looking a little bit stronger because of the extra HP he gets for free. Mind you, if Daniel does end up racking enough resources to go for the bloodline upgrades, to go for the bloodlines upgrade himself, then he's going to start getting ahead. But for the time being, it's just going to be standard scouts for both. Can you repeat the website again? Sure. If you don't find record the games from the player you want to watch on the dashboard, you can go to AOE2.net. So AOE2.net, and you can search for the profile of the player you want to take a look at the games from, and you can download the recorded games from their profile. So far, Valas has gotten the only villager pick in the game. We're gonna see another village going down and another one. 2 extra villages going down. Daniel down by 3 villagers, actually down by 2 villagers over here, so there's a lot of extra idle TC time over here for Daniel. Still somehow he manages to be behind just by 2 villages, which is just remarkable, and I think that's because of the fishing ships. He did go for a dock up in the north, and the fishing ships coming out over there will allow him to keep up with villager or worker count much better than otherwise it would be possible for him. So yeah. Down the south, Valas has gone for a dock over here, but it's taking a little bit longer for him to queue a fishing ship. So for the time being, Daniel is the only player actually going for water economy. Nice quick wall over here though from Valas. Pretty nicely timed palisade. And then we'll see the extra walls coming up over here for Valas as well. Around the wood line, and while Daniel was looking very threatening with the scouts over there, Valas manages to get away with the quick walls. Daniel is forced into trying to find an opening elsewhere, and he does find 1 villager over here. So 3 to 2. EKKD still favoring Valas, but Daniel is starting to catch up. Because he's got the fishing ships as well, the work count is actually looking higher right now for Daniel compared to Valas. He's also gone for bloodlines, so once again that's going to make his own scouts significantly stronger compared to the scouts that the Valas got available to him. And we might see another villager going down over here. And Daniel dominating, guys! Another villager going down! And boy, oh boy, we still have 2 minutes of predictions open. And this might be actually kind of rough for anybody rooting for Valas or betting on Valas. But it's been really good for Daniel so far. Gee. Are we going to see more villagers going down? Well, so far the lead in villager KD is pretty small for Daniel. That might change very soon though, as he's gone for a sneaky dock down the south. He's got another dock coming up over here, so 2 docks versus only 1 in Valas. Valas doesn't have the chance to go for any fishing ships. In the end, it's going to be just fire galleys for him, so Dane is the only player taking advantage of water economy with 5 fishing ships. He's looking very strong, getting yet another villager on the left-hand side, so that's going to bring the Eco KV out to 5-3 in favor of Daniel, plus the extra fishing ships. He is ahead by 6 workers. Keeps on roaming around with the scouts as well. He's got 13 scouts to work with right now, 12. Plus some archers on the right-hand side. Doesn't seem like Valas does have too much space to work with at all anymore. And you know what? I think I might just have to call out the predictions, because before the prediction time runs out, Daniel's lead is so significant that I wouldn't be surprised to see the GG being called by Valas very soon, even if that's going to leave him in a match point situation where game number 4 could potentially be the last one of the set over here. You know, this is shaping up to be a much shorter series compared to what we had for the first one, definitely for the second one as well. But yeah. Alright. Good defense for Valas though. This is because Huns produce faster. They do produce 20% faster because of the stables, but then also he went for bloodlines, so his units are significantly higher HP compared to what Valas got. Plus, Valas hasn't gone for scale bar than armor, so there are a few reasons, right? Everything adds up, and every little bit helps Daniel get a lead for himself, so yeah. Good defense for Valas. But Daniel has put himself in a pretty good spot. He is significantly ahead in worker count. He's got 13 extra workers compared to Valas, and he is significantly ahead in military count. He's got over twice the military count compared to Valas at 19 versus 9. Plus, he ends up getting the better trades down the south over here. He's got fishing ships coming out, so he's got fishing ships up in the north. He's got fishing ships down the south over here. He's gonna keep on going for more, and eventually he'll end up cleaning the dock up over here from Valas, so prospects not really looking too good for the red player at all, and Daniel on the other hand is looking much stronger. As a matter of fact, it even seems as if Valas is trying to save enough resources to click out to the castle edge, which seems like a huge mistake given all the pressure that Daniel's putting onto the red player. Double stable production from Daniel right now, going triple stable right now for Daniel as he goes full on scout production. What will Valas be able to do to survive until he gets to the castle edge? He's clicked up, but he's so far behind. I mean, check this out. So the archers coming in for Daniel, he prevents any quick walls from coming up behind the stable over there, and the stable goes down, so now Valas is going to be left on only 1 stable, which means that once he gets to the castle edge, assuming that he actually has the economy to train knights, it's only going to be confined to a single stable production. Meanwhile, Daniel with triple stable production over here might actually be able to offset for the strength of the knights by just going for extra scouts. In any case, we will see more villages go down over there as Valas loses yet another one. And over here, the gate is open, and Daniel's coming in with the scouts. Should end up getting a few extra villages over there, and he will for sure. So yeah, Valas goes down to 42 population compared to 95, 43 to 96. At this point in time, yeah, Daniel's got over twice the population compared to Valas, and he's on his way to the castle age as well. So the head start that Valas got to the castle age is unfortunately not really enough for him to catch up in worker count compared to Daniel. He's behind by 31, and there is simply no way that Valas will be able to catch up for 31 extra workers in the time he's going to have in the castle age all by himself. And for military, well, there is no way Valas will be able to catch up for military either compared to Daniel over here with 5 military units for Valas and Daniel on 31. The military count is so much higher for Daniel, it's ridiculous. we go. Beautiful. Then he's going back and in an abundance of caution, he's just trying to keep his numbers high over here. Even though he could very easily take an engagement and come out on top given the amount of units he's got. Just trying to hold on to the units in 20 seconds or so. These will be upgradable to crossbowman with Balkan arrow. And he's got enough so right now that he should be able to take care of Valas' knight production even. Plus, obviously, Daniel's going to have the opportunity of going for knights himself, as he still does have 3 stables. But what do we see? We see knights coming out. We see archers coming out. We should see the Balkan arrow and crossman upgrades coming out very soon as well. And that's going to leave Valas in a very precarious position where Daniel's going to have a very nice meat shield to fight with against Valas, plus a much stronger army to fight with from behind. So Valas calls a GG, and Daniel's up 3-0. This was 18 minutes into the game. Very, very short stuff. If we go back and take a look at the achievements, we'll see that for military, things are looking significantly better for Valas with about 11 to 10 KD ratio, while for economy is so much stronger for Daniel though. Collecting 6,000 extra resources. So the KD was better for Valas, just barely. But the economy was so much stronger for Daniel that it did not matter, basically. For technology, also a much higher, for society rather, a much higher work account for Daniel throughout the game. Not only with villagers, where he managed to get 12 extra villagers, but also with the fishing ships, collecting 17 extra fishing ships. That's going to be a total of 29 extra workers or so, which is just ridiculous. So let's go back and cross the civilizations out. We'll see what we get. There we go. Once again, Daniel, we're gonna use the blue color for him. And it's gonna be Berbers versus Tatars. I'm pretty curious as to what Daniel's strat's gonna be over here. Given that we are not starting in Dark Age, I don't think he'll send villagers forward necessarily with Berbers to try and take advantage of the extra mobility. Instead, he's just probably gonna try and make a play for Scouts or archers over here. He does have some gold miners, so it probably will be archers. Or actually, he can just play defensive, and then he can go up to the castle age and make a play for a castle, and then camel archers, right? His civilization on paper should counter Valas' civilization, but that is once you get up to shape. Are you going to Red Bull Wololo to cast? I would love to, but no, I am not. Yeah, no problem. I'm still very much looking forward to the whole event. I'm gonna be watching from home, of course, with the rest of the audience. Very much looking forward to it. I know it's gonna be a blast. I actually enjoy Age of Empires 4 quite a bit as well, so I think I'll probably be watching both the Age of Empires 4 and the Age of Empires 2 event. Age of Empires 1, I might peek into a little bit, but it's not really a game that I've ever really gotten familiar with, so yeah. Regardless though, Castle Age should be on the way very soon for Daniel and for Valas. About the same time, Daniel's gonna be there a little bit sooner, I think. Yeah, just clicking up a little bit sooner, but Valas is not going to be lagging too far behind. Worker count at this point is about the same, so Valas will be going up on the same worker count, but a little bit later, so he does end up racking up a little bit of extra idle TC time, as he was saving the resources. And that's going to put Daniel in a little bit of a better spot. Once he gets to the Castle Age, he's gonna be on an extra villager. Stable coming up. And then on the left-hand side, Valas. Not so much. He's just got 2 archer ranges over here. So it's interesting. He's got archers coming out. Taras will get free thumbering once he gets to the castle age. So that'll boost the strength of his archers by quite a bit. However, Daniel will have 15% cheaper, stable unit production from the castle age already, 20% in the imperial age. So if he goes for a second stable over here, he should be able to get enough knights out soon enough that he should be able to take care of any crossbow threat coming over from Valas. So we'll see. Replayer sending some of the archers forward already. Still 1 minute away from the castle age. These are numerous enough that they are going to take care of any scouts. However, he'll still end up taking a little bit of damage if he just sticks forward over here for too long. Especially as Daniel's getting to the castle age faster, Daniel's gonna start pumping knights right away. Ideally, he'll go for chain-barded armor as soon as he gets to the castle age as well, so let's see. Alright, he's got chain-barded armor and knights coming out. Well done. While Valas, on the other hand, he's just roaming around trying to find an opening over here. It doesn't seem like he'll be able to. However, he gets to the castle age, we're going to see Crossman and Balkan Arrow coming in right away for Valas. At the very least, the Crossman upgrades here. Balkan Arrow is taking a little bit longer. But he should be able to go for it. Alright, there we go. He's got it. There's a second TC coming out for Valas. Up in the north now. Looking pretty good. Then, on the other hand, he does have a nice score lead. And he's got knights coming out from both these stables. So he's just trying to mass these up. This can be really deadly. If he's gonna stick to 1 TC full production over here, Berbers can be absolutely devastating. However, Valas, on the other hand, he's got cavalry archers coming out, so he's gonna make a transition. He's only gone for 13 crossbows, so it's not too many. And the cavalry archer transition is very interesting, of course, but it's gonna take some time for it to pay off. Remember that cavalry archers are going to require about 30 shots to kill a knight with a single volley, so you're going to need probably north of 15 for them to be kind of effective against stray knights. So Daniel's looking alright for the time being, especially if he keeps on going for more knights as well. He'll put himself in a pretty nice position. He could also mix in some camels. He could mix in some camels, yes. But then you can go for his own camels and he'll still be paying less. We'll see. Forging coming in now for Daniel. Yeah, and the cavalry archers are kind of out in the open. Not a position over here. You don't want to see these units like this. You want to mass them up and only then go out. Let's end up taking a few losses over here. 2 cavalry archers going down, and those are expensive units, guys. Those are slow to mass as well. So here comes Daniel. He's got the knights over here. A nice quick wall from Valas will make it harder for Daniel to clean the units up, and Daniel's going to bail because of it, but he does end up chunking a bunch of HP off the rest of the cavalry archers on his way out. So Daniel, still looking alright. 2 villages behind. Valas has gotten a lot of extra TC time. He does have 3 TCs to work with right now. Daniel's going for the second TC, although it seems like this one is going to get denied. Yeah, we have 2 crosses over here. Very unlikely that Daniel will be able to get the TC up over there. Yeah, there we go. The TC is getting completely denied. All of a sudden, Daniel is looking a lot more vulnerable in game number 4. Valas, 3 TCs already up as Daniel gets the second TC denied over here. Is gonna start pulling ahead in villager count quite a bit. And this TC over here, in the middle of nowhere, completely denied from Daniel, might just be the one thing that costs him the game. He's gonna keep on going for knights, mind you, but it's going to be pretty difficult for him to keep on queuing them up as he lost so many villagers. His economy has bled out quite a bit. Yeah, now he's just trying to find an opening over here. Cannot do it. Not on the left-hand side. Not on the right-hand side. But it's open over here, though. Is it? Oh, it seemed like it was open, but there was a tree over here. Wow. Just in time for Valas. Taking a look up north, there is a siege workshop coming in for Daniel, which he'll use to start putting pressure against Valas's TC. Of course, it could be really good. Daniel still holds on to a higher military count, and especially the army value is a little bit higher for him, given that he's going for melee cavalry. If he was able to get this TC down and get the villagers down over here, he will be able to not really catch up in villager count, but get very, very close, and might be able to prevent Valas' extra resources invested over here from paying off. So we'll see. Regardless, in the end, Valas ends up taking the camels over here for the most part, and then on the left-hand side, Daniel's gonna keep on trying to breach through. This time around, he's bringing all the knights over. Valas bringing the cavalry archers out. Yeah, Daniel's respecting this. Daniel's absolutely respecting the cavalry archers. He finally manages to get the second TC on the left-hand side, though. And the siege is coming out on the right. This could be really good. Here come the knights. The camels, the mangonels, and Daniel. Three mangonels for the blue player. Oh boy. Valas is investing quite heavily into the right hand side over here. If he ends up losing the TC, that's 17 villages that are completely exposed. So here comes Daniel. He's gonna try and get the TC down. Meanwhile, Valas is going for a counter strike. Might be able to get a village down over here too. He does now get into, as a matter of fact. Nice. Mango shots, getting some villages down. And yeah, Daniel's pressure over here can be really strong, but it's taking forever for him to get in range of the TC. Let's gotta destroy one of the houses over here, or keep on roaming around and get to the left-hand side. However, here come Valas' cavalry archers. This could be really bad. Valas is getting a good trade over here, getting one mangonel down. That's going to be two mangonels over there, and Daniel cannot attack ground properly, so he's going to end up losing all the mangonels over there. That's going to be four mangonels going down, and not a single cavalry archer has gone down to the mangonels themselves. Instead, they've gone down to the camels and the knights from Daniel. Interestingly enough, Daniel still holds on to a stronger military count, brings the knights over underneath the TC, and starts taking villagers down. The only villagers who manage to make it into the TC will survive for the time being, but will be completely idle. So Daniel's forcing a lot of idle time from Valas. And then on the left-hand side, there's a second wave of units coming around as Daniel chases the cavalry archers from Valas away. Valas' units mobility will allow him to keep on just bailing from here and distracting Daniel's military for the most part. So yeah. There we go. Oh, it's open though. It's open, and Valas' base gets infiltrated by Daniel's knights. Valas was trying to mass a good amount of pikemen over here. He does unleash the units onto Daniel's military. So now Daniel's going down to only 5 knights. Make that actually 4 knights over here. 3 knights and 1 camel, as a matter of fact. And while Daniel still has more military compared to Valas, and he's sticking to 1 TC, full cavalry production for the most part. You can see that no second TC is engaged right now. It's gonna take some time for Daniel to replenish the units over here. Plus, the fact that Valas is going for pikemen quite as heavily means that it's very unlikely Daniel will be able to do any damage with knights alone anymore. So he's going to need something else. Unfortunately, the only thing that Daniel's got right now is going to be mangonels. So it's unlikely he'll end up getting the pikemen down with mangonels. Instead, he would probably need either scorpions or some other sort of infantry himself, or potentially even archery. In any case, if Valas does end up finally getting a win over here, that's going to guarantee a 5-game series for us at the very least, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. At the very least, not necessarily, right? As Daniel keeps on putting more pressure and he keeps on going for more knights, he's going to end up cleaning out the pikemen over there, and Valas is down to only 3 pikemen. In some cavalry archers, but not quite as many. Respecting Valas' position. And then taking a look at the downside over here. The south side over here, Daniel's got the 3rd TC finally coming out, while Valas, he's got the 4th TC over here, the 3rd TC and the 4th TC coming up. After he lost the one up in the north, that's going to be what he's got left to work with. So yeah. Ideally, Daniel will at some point send something up in the north, as Valas is collecting resources from here for free. And Daniel's not really realizing about it. Nice pressure from Daniel. Still going quite heavily into knights, but now he's making a transition to villager production actually, a little bit. There we go. Here come the knights once again. Here come the pikemen from Valas. The pikemen are staying up for the time being. It's going to require some incredible attack rounds from ground attacks rather from Daniel to get rid of the pikemen over here. So it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to do it. And then mangonels are going down. Daniel ends up losing most of the military over here, or getting pushed away. Dushek, thanks so much for the raids. Very much appreciated. Welcome everyone. We are casting Daniel versus Valas. This is the best of 7 series for the Red Bull Wololo Legacy qualifiers. These are decider sets, so whoever wins over here moves on to the main event. Whoever loses over here gets knocked out of the qualifier, and he's gonna have to try again next weekend. I hope you had a great stream, and yeah, once again appreciate it. Thank you so much for the raid. Go. Another mangonel goes down from Daniel. Interestingly enough though, he manages to catch up in villager count to Valas for the most part, so all of a sudden Daniel's not on the back foot quite as much anymore. As a matter of fact, he's got a 4 TC coming up over here, so he'll be able to keep up with villager production, assuming that both players can keep 4 TCs working. Regardless though, Daniel's still going pretty heavily into knights. Fortunately for him, he does have a good amount of gold available. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle for sure. Because of the pikemen from Valas. It's gonna keep on going quite heavily into them. It's got 4 barracks to work with. So Daniel's gotta be careful. However, Daniel's got a good amount of knights. Plus a discount. 15% cheaper stable unit production means that Daniel might actually be able to outproduce Valas. We'll see. He'll probably need more than 3 stables though. Yeah, he got 4 stables, 5 stables, and he was able to keep production going. He might be able to actually overpower Valas' defenses even with pikemen, so we'll see what Daniel's strat over here is. For the time being, he's just got 3 knights queued up, and he does have about 5 stables over here. He's going for the 6. As a matter of fact, that's going to be 7 stables he's got, and he's going for the 8th stable right now. So if he's able to keep production going from all those stables, or at the very least half of those stables, that's going to make it much, much harder for Valas to keep on defending himself. So we'll see. Castle on the way now for Daniel on the left-hand side, trying to defend himself from getting raided or getting pushed away from the golds over here, which he so desperately needs to keep production of knights going. Plus a castle over here is going to give him access to camel archers, which can be really good against pikemen, and obviously will be absolutely fantastic against cavalry archer units. So camel archers over here are definitely the unit to go for Daniel, and he's going to start queuing them up. It's going to take, with a single castle, a long time for him to get to a decent amount of units, but yeah, definitely a step in the right direction, so to say. We want the center of Valas' base. Daniel's raiding around, getting some villagers down. Villager count still significantly higher for Daniel. He's been able to not only catch up, but also surpass Valas in villager count by quite a bit. Now we see the upgrades coming in with Balkinaro, extra camel archers queued up. It seems as if Daniel is finding himself in a much better position compared to just a few minutes ago. And even though his military count is pretty low compared to Valas's, once again the camel archers over here do hold the potential to change the game. This is going for a forward castle though, but he's going to get completely cut short here. Extra castle coming up now for Daniel up in the north, which effectively doubles his camel archer production and can allow him to try and catch up a little bit better. Apparently Daniel's under a lot of pressure, especially with the castle coming up right here from Valas. He'll be able to target the TC over here from Daniel. The player instead seems to be trying to mass enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age. This seems kind of risky. There is 61 military units from Valas out to get Daniel, and Daniel's about to spend 1800 resources going up to the next stage without any defenses. Just castles, I guess. Well, if he does manage to survive until the Imperial Age without completely getting destroyed, he'll be the first player with access to trebuchets, so he could potentially go for the castle over here and free himself of some of the pressure the Valas putting on him. So he does click up to the Imperial Age. From this point onwards, he's got to go for as many military units as he can possibly queue with the economy that he's got. Only that's going to allow him to get ahead in military over here, stay ahead in villager count at the very least. But he's not really going for it. He's going for the numbering and extra villages instead. I haven't been able to download any games, so as the download icon is crossed. Do you know why that would be? Also, if I click on the eye icon, nothing happens for me. I don't get into the game. Could you tell me why, please? After this game, I can show you a little bit better how the dashboard works, because the descriptions that I could give you right now would probably not be too meaningful. Please ask again after the game is over and I can show you. So that you know if it's an error on your end or if it's just the intended behavior of the dashboard. In any case, Village will be here for Daniel very soon. He is already going for Caspa, which will make the castles work 25% faster. So yeah. Nice, then you'll start to go around trying to get the raids going, even though his military count is kind of depressing to take a look at right now. He's got 14 military units. Now Valas starting to get some cash out. Third castle's coming up, fourth castle's coming up over here for Daniel. That is good. Plus Casbah, that's going to make these work has more than 5 castles actually. So where are the trebuchets? We have 1, 2 trebuchets queued up over here on the left hand side from Daniel. And Valas, man, Valas gotta take advantage of this. This is the time for him to do damage. He's got 82 military versus 18, and still Daniel is ahead in worker count, which is not what I was expecting to be the case at all, given just how much faster Daniel was going out to the Imperial Age and how many resources he spent on to going out to the next stage and how many extra units Valas had to work with. So definitely not what I was expecting. Now many of the units from Valas are going to get directly countered by the units from Daniel. 15 camel archers over here will do pretty well against the cavalry archers. Chemistry is coming in for Daniel. He's got bracer already, which is great. Valas ends up getting pushed away from here for the most part, and Daniel's gotta be careful because the rams over here will soak damage from the cavalry archers if he just lets the army attack on its own. So he's gotta micro the villagers one at a time, or the cavalry archers, right? Which can result in overkill and can actually allow Valas to get a better trade. Especially with Tartars over there holding on to the hill, means that Valas will be doing 25% higher damage against Daniel's units when fighting from higher elevation, of course. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, the trebuchets are coming out. Now we have 2 trebuchets over here, so Valas is going to lose the castle. And he doesn't really have any castles left anymore. Daniel is getting to a pretty decent amount of military, 33. Might not be quite as high as Valas's 94 military units, but keep in mind, once again, a bunch of Valas's army is going to get directly countered by Daniel's units. And then if Daniel's able to make a transition into Cavalier, for instance, get plate bar than armor, that'll be strong enough for him to go and even fight pikemen off or Kesheks. So it seems like from this point onwards, Daniel's going to be in a much better position if he's able to just hold on long enough to catch up in military count for the most part. And with Casbah, he's going to do it. He's got a lot of camel archers coming out. He's not going for any melee cavalry. The camel archers are still going to be pretty strong, especially if you have siege to back that up, right? So with both these trebuchets over here, then you can keep on pushing forward. We're going to see the TC going down. We're going to see more and more of the defenses from Valas crumble. There's only 3 TCs left. There are only 3 TCs left for Valas to defend himself with. And if he loses those TCs, actually 4, right? He's got 1 in the south over here. But if he loses those TCs, he doesn't have any defense. He doesn't have the means to defend himself against Daniel's push anymore. And now, finally, Daniel's making a switch into melee cavalry. He's got conscription on the way. Knights queued up. And the world in front of him. While Valas, on the other hand, kind of let go of his lead a little bit, especially when Daniel clicked out to the Imperial Age. That was the time for Valas to put pressure. And he tried to a little bit, but it was not strong enough. So now, it's looking significantly better for Daniel. See, he catches up in military count for the most part. Yeah, and there's not too much over here for Valas to do. Not even the skirmishers will work out. There's another castle coming up over here for Daniel. It's going to be the 5th castle for him. What do we have left for Valas? Well, he's got 3 TCs left to work with. 3 TCs, 48 military units in a dream. And man, even the skirmishers get completely wiped out. So Daniel, going for Cavalier right now, is looking really, really strong. The game's looking out, the series is looking out for Daniel. Seems like we might end up getting a 4-meal set over here. At the very least, that seems to be the case. And Valas calls the GG. Daniel moves on to the main event. Is getting himself a spot on, you know, the castle. While Valas, on the other hand, gets knocked out of the qualifier. Is going to have to try again next weekend. And for the time being, let's take a look at the achievements. Better than 2-to-1 kill ratio for Daniel in the end. And check this out. The military over here is ridiculous. It was so much better for Valas at this stage, but he didn't put enough pressure, and Daniel was able to come back steadily after getting to the Imperial Age. Stronger economy for Daniel by about 3,000. We're going to see a stronger worker count for Daniel by quite a bit as well. So let's go back, guys. We are going to listen in on the interview, and then we'll jump into the next series and we'll see what we get. So let's check it out.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
Well, maybe not so much. Daniel's in the voice chat, but Neil is not here yet. Okay, Neil is here. I'll be right back.
Daniel, are you around? I can't hear you if you're trying to speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there he is.
There he is. I was just typing, so I muted myself, so.
Okay. Incredible set. We were absolutely blown away, Daniel. Going into this one against Valas, what were your expectations? What were your hopes going into the set?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real here. I didn't think I was gonna qualify. Like on Friday night, I mean, of course, I thought that I participated because I think that there's a chance of qualifying, but I never thought I was gonna qualify like Friday night. And then I just played it. That was it. I just played, so didn't really have that much of an expectation coming in. But then it went okay with like the preparation and everything. Like a lot of people helped me prep. One of them here right now, Hera, thank you. And there's like Sato and like a lot of my teammates like Margu, Nikov, a lot of people. Thank you for helping me prep. And yeah.
Yeah, really nice. And it showed so much. Like my view of you changed so much in this set because I felt like you are incredibly strong in mechanics and were lacking probably a bit in like preparation strategies. But oh boy, was I wrong. Like you performed and you had like such a clear game plan for every set or for every game.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this time I really spent a lot of time. I probably played like 15, 20 games almost every day. So then like spent a lot of time this past week just playing every day, basically. That's it. And then looking at the maps and everything. So I guess it paid off.
It absolutely did. And your start in the set was a bit shaky. Like fighting feudal age there, Britons, archers, no fletching? Like what went through your mind after you realized you didn't have fletching?
I was pretty tilted, not gonna lie. But then I was like, there's still a chance because I don't know, Magnos and crossbows, that's like my style, right? So then I was just like, yeah, let's go. Let's just brain dead it out. Magno and crossbows, whatever, send it. That's it.
And you brain deaded it out indeed. And probably one of the best strategies execution wise I've seen in this whole qualifier. The bull with Koreans, your last pick. How much did you envision how this game would go? Like exactly like this, or were there more question marks?
I envisioned exactly like this. I practiced with Sato like 3 or 4 times today. This exact matchup, and it went the same like every single time when we played. So it was pretty much as expected. I knew the time. I mean, not really knew the timings, but like at least I know how. Like within like a minute, I know like his castle age time and stuff like that should not be able to kill me before my guard tower's up because as soon as I hit castle age, I have guard tower. So then like if he couldn't kill me like at that very second, then I think it's a pretty smooth start. That's it.
Okay, we were really scratching our heads. Like, what are the options for Aztecs here? How can they win a game against Koreans?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked right for that map, I guess. Thank you a lot to Sato. Like I have to credit all that to him and really helped me prep there. So thank you to him.
Nice stuff. And then Outcrop, another moment where probably some emotions went through your head after you have a nice, okay, nightmares, get some control on the map, and then you try to expand and build that town center and lose every single ville.
Yeah, I knew that was bad. That was definitely like really bad. So that's why I tried to do more damage. Basically, I just tried to make the game as messy as possible because I knew that I was down 5 fills already. So I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna send it again, just because that's just the mentality. Not really mentality. That's just a strategy that you gotta have when you're just like behind. You're just gonna be like, all right, whatever. Let's try our best and just do something with the army that we have. That's it.
Nice. So now you will participate in the $200,000 tournament. Probably the biggest thing that's happened, at least in your Age of Empires career. Like, how big is this going to be personally?
Oh, I'm very happy about this result. I mean, I don't think I've ever participated in such a big tournament. It's fun. I mean, I expected it to be a lot of fun. I'm happy to meet everyone. And yeah, I haven't been to Europe in like 3 or 4 years. So that'll be fun too. And also, just in general, playing AoE2 in a castle, that feels like a experience that I can talk about for a while. Seems like a pretty chill experience that I can, have and enjoy. It's fun.
Nice stuff. What are you aiming for, placement wise?
Realistically speaking, top 8.
Okay.
Realistically speaking, that would be an aim. And like if I get top 8, I'll be very, very happy. So that
Nice.
would be
Nice. I like, we were such big fans of your play today. I think that is a very realistic goal, and I wish you the best of luck. I will open up to questions for anyone else here. If anyone feels like another question for Daniel, go now.
Well, Daniel, congrats. I just want to ask you, dude, like, what were the nerves like going into that final game? What were the nerves there when you were up 3-0? Were you feeling anything, or was it just like, let's get this done?
I was pretty hyped, but I mean, I was just playing. I had the plan in mind already. I mean, I knew that he was going to pick Outcrop, right? So and I was really just thinking, okay, Outcrop, I'm just going to full wall and then play the game from there, basically. So that like see what he does and then play the game from there. So then like I had that in mind. So that I was just focused on doing that. I really didn't have really didn't have anything else. I was just like, okay, let's get a full wall. Let's not miss a random hole and then get like 3 archers in and then just GG resign right away. So might as well focus up, ball up. That's it.
All right, man. Congrats. I'm looking forward to seeing you for the first time. It's gonna be great. You should invite some friends over or have a party tonight, man. This is a big accomplishment for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy about it. Yeah, I can't imagine that I actually did this. This is pretty insane. I mean, I said like on Friday I didn't think that was going to qualify, and then today I actually did it. So, yeah.
Congrats, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Clara. Thank you for helping me out too.
No problem. You're a beast.
Much appreciate it.
Yeah, enjoy. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Daniel.